Hey everybody, it's time to put Evan's waterless coolant in Mark's Commander here. It's a Commander 800. I've put this in my Razor 900. I love it, especially because there's no pressure in it. And when I go underwater, you may have seen that, I heard those videos. When it cools down, it doesn't suck water into the coolant system because there's no pressure in it. It's a great thing. So we're going to put this Evan's waterless coolant in. I'm going to tell you all about this product and why I like it so much. Now this is what I would call a conversion video, but don't let that scare you off because it's really actually very simple. The main thing is that you get most of the 50-50 coolant out of there. You know, you have a 50% coolant, 50% water, and the main thing is that you get the water out. You don't want that because this coolant here has no water in it, and if you have any water left over in your system, you're kind of negating the benefits of using this product. Water creates pressure, creates steam, and you don't want that in here. That's why we're using this. So let's get it done. Very simple to do. Now, because we're playing with coolant, pressurized systems for now, Mark had this running a little bit of pressure in there already. The green stuff came out. Want to make sure you wear your safety goggles. Put that cap right, the cap right here. I have a way of losing things. You're going to want to use this Liquivac here. That's available from Thermoboat right here in Canada. It is an amazing tool. Everybody should have this. It works so well. For getting all the liquids out. Also comes with a little hose for your transmission. Dipstick if you need to get down in there really deep. Can I get that in there anymore? No, that's it. The main thing is that we start up nice and high and we work our way down. If I just go in there and I pop the bottom hose, there's going to be a lot of coolant all over the place. And I kind of, excuse me, and I kind of want to minimize the mess, if you will. But sometimes, and we don't know how it's going to work until we actually get into it, sometimes we just have no choice. Sometimes you just got to crack it and let it drain into a pan. Now, you don't need a hoist to do this. This just makes it a little easier for the camera work. You're going to need your Liquivac, a vacuum, makes things a little nicer, a little easier. And you can even use compressed air, might make your life a little easier as well. Let's see, I think what I'll do is, just to make the job a little cleaner, I'll pop this top hose off. Because I knew that would happen. Not a bad thing. So just looking at this, it's going to get messy. That's just the way this whole conversion is going to go. Now the cool thing about this product is that this antifreeze that we're taking out, the 50-50 mix, we're going to have to actually dispose of that. We're not going to use it anymore. And that stuff only lasts so long. You know, you need to change this because it eventually breaks down and all the anti-corrosive abilities of it break down eventually and it's no good. So we're going to have to get rid of this, and you don't need to do that with Evans because it is good forever. You never have to recycle it at any kind of station. It never wears out. You can remove it, install it in. You can remove it, install it in another machine, and just keep moving it from one to the other. It's basically a lifetime coolant. It is messy. But anybody who knows me knows that it gets messy in my shop, or Keely's shop, when I use it. Okay. Everybody's got a shop vac. And Evans suggests that you use like a low volume air source to blow out the passages on your machines, whether it be a truck or an ATV, a UTV. That's what we're going to do with this. I'm not going to vacuum it. I'm going to actually blow it. So I'm going to blow it out from the top of the rad first. Because remember, or can I get on there? Yes, I can. Because remember, you want to get as much of that 50-50 out of there as you can. There's a lot left in there. Amazing.
Still pouring.
Still coming. Is it coming out of the hose or out of the?
Coming out of the rad, lots.
It is, eh?
Yeah, turn it back on. And
There's only an in and an out on that. There's not two. Good now? There we go. So that's the front. We're going to pull all the coolant out of the reservoir. Best invention known to man, right here. I have two Liquivacs. I use one for my 50-50 coolant when I'm pulling it out, and old oils and fuels and diff fluids and whatever else I'm using. And then I have another one I use for my Evans coolant. When I pull it out of one machine, put it in another, I keep it basically uncontaminated. I'll put that cap back on there right now. So the next lowest point is just off the water pump. Just pop this clamp off. Now this is going to get dirty. It is.
the bucket first.
Hey?
Move the bucket.
Yeah, I'm just going to do it here. This is going to be a dirty thing. Now is a good time to look at the condition of your hoses and your clamps and everything else. And if you have an issue, it's time to change it. If this were a really, really old machine, I'd be changing hoses. It's not. It's in good condition. And if you have an overheating problem with your vehicle, whether it's a truck, car, ATV, motorcycle, snowmobile, this doesn't cure overheating issues. What this is used for is protecting your engine against overheating when you overheat it. Now with something like this, we're always playing in the mud, radiator's constantly getting packed full of mud, the engine compartment packed full of mud, and it never really cools the same way after you've packed it all full of mud and tried to even clean it out. Your machine's going to run hotter. When it does, the Evans actually protects it. You may have seen in some of my videos with the snowmobiles, I ran one snowmobile up to 330 degrees. The engine didn't seize, I didn't have an issue with it, took the heads off, everything was fine. So I'm very confident that this is a very good protector of your engine and your engine components. I'm going to put this under. I don't know how much it's going to do because I see where it's going to come out. It's going to be dirty. Well, that wasn't that bad. All right. So what I'm going to do now is, just through process of elimination, I'm going to blow through just about every hose in this. This hose that I'm going to get onto right now, which goes into the top of the radiator, should actually go, if I've figured this out correctly, into the motor and out the water pump. So let's try this. Can you see anything coming through that water pump? Still coming out? Got to get by the thermostat, right? Yeah, could be. We're gonna pull this thermostat housing off because I think it's slowing things down a little bit here. That thermostat in there might be sort of blocking that passage. So I've popped that thermostat housing out. You can see everything's nice and loose now, and I have easy access to the V-style motor. I'm just gonna blow some air through it with our handy shop vac and see what happens. Okay, so I'm confident that I've got that very well flushed. And that's the conversion end of it. You know, you're getting rid of all that 50-50 coolant, making sure that there's really nothing left in there. I think we're good to use about 3 to 5% or leave 3 to 5% of the 50-50 in the system. It's still going to get the advantages and the benefits of using the Evans waterless coolant when it's all said and done. I'm just going to bolt that back together, put that new coolant in. You know, if you really want to be sure how much water you've got pushed out, the 50-50 coolant, you can run a refractometer. I've done it. But every time I've done it with this type of conversion, if you're just diligent, we get enough out. You don't need the refractometer. And it just sounds a little too complicated when it's really not. It's not that complicated at all. So. I'm just thankful these guys do all this work. You know, Evans and all these other manufacturers of these awesome products. Even though, you know, everybody calls this coolant, what we usually run Prestone, right? 50-50 coolant, everybody calls it Prestone. Although we've been running it for so long, everybody has a hard time wrapping their head around using something else, something different, something that's new. It couldn't possibly work better, right? Well, just because it's been around for so long doesn't mean it's the best. And from all this crazy testing I've done of this stuff is good. Get that out of there. I'm just going to grab a funnel. Hold on there. Gravity is your friend. Let me see.
Hold the mirror.
Oh, it moves in, doesn't it? Oh, tricky little thing. Now we'll see if we can get this in. Let's see how much of this coolant we can pour all over Mark's machine. Okay, now I've filled that up to the top. Obviously there's going to be some air pockets in there. I'm just going to start it up, let it circulate for a minute, and then top it up again. So that's it. Everything is done. All we really need to do now is take this out, go for a short run, top up the coolant again, take it for another run, make sure it's all good, and that'll be it. Now you'll notice with this coolant, I'm going to put some in the reservoir as well, but you'll notice with this coolant that since there's no water in it, there's no real expansion. But if you do have to open it, you know, always make sure you have your glasses on, but you'll just notice at full temp, it'll just go a little bit, and then that's it. That's one of the beautiful things about Evans waterless coolant. If you get a puncture in your system, if you have a clamp that wasn't put on exactly tight, you'll see a slow leak, but it's not going to blow it out under high pressure like it will with a 50-50 coolant in there. So that's it. I'm going to sign off for today. I got to thank Mark for bringing this machine by. I got to thank Evans waterless coolant. When you do want to buy it, make sure you go to evanskooling.com, check for one of their local or regional distributors in your area. Thanks for watching.
Make it impossible to find me. Go on and believe it's nothing at all. Aren't you sick of promises that I break?